Renata, and I am interviewing Chelsea today.
Hi.
So hello, Chelsea. I have a few questions I'd like to ask you about your general daily activities and what you partake in that you enjoy as well. So do you currently partake in any physical activity in your day-to-day life? And this is including things like beyond just going to the gym, like, I don't know, within work or within school. What kind of general activities do you partake in every day?
I mean, since I live on campus, I walk a lot. So I don't run, but I walk a lot. So I do get my cardio in every day because UNCG is a hilly campus and most of my buildings are spread out from each other. So I do walk a lot. Occasionally I take the stairs, but really outside of that thus far this semester, I haven't really done that much more.
Okay. So is this kind of a regular, like, are these kind of activities on a regular basis, or do they tend to change? Or
I mean, I would say that those two, the first one, just walking everywhere, that never changes. With the stairs, usually, sometimes it'll depend on the building I'm in, but all of the buildings I'm in this year, well, actually, I do take the stairs for my buildings, or my classes I have in Curry, because there's not an elevator in there, at least not one I've found. So I do take the stairs for that, but really me taking the stairs depends on how much energy I have left at the end of the day, and if my buildings depend on it. So if I'm like getting back to Jefferson Suites and feeling good, then sometimes I'll take the stairs, but usually not. Usually I'm really tired when I get back, because it's usually just in the Curry building.
Gotcha. So currently speaking, you're saying that walking and probably occasional stairs are your primary methods of physical activity. Awesome. Okay. So that being said, have you had any past experience of physical activity, like sports or things of that nature? Have you had
In college or previous to that?
previous, anything from what you've played in your lifetime? You could just say that.
So I do make an effort to go to the gym, but never fails. Every third week of September, I get a sinus infection, and it knocks me out for a week to a week and a half. So my gym schedule always gets messed up. So I usually don't start at the beginning of the semester because it never goes well. So once I pass like the middle of September, then I'll start going. So I haven't made it there yet. I'm trying to make sure that those allergies aren't going to hit me anymore. But in high school, I played golf. I played golf 3 or 4 years in high school. Not quite good enough to play in college, but I did play, and during the summer, during the fall, and it was a lot. It was just, that was probably the most active I've ever been in my entire life, you know, because do tournaments, 18-hole tournaments, 3 days in a row. So I probably walked a good 10 miles over the course of 3 days, and that happened. So that was when I was most physically active. In elementary school and some of middle school, I played soccer for 10 years. I played basketball for 2 years, softball for 2 years. My dad tried to teach me tennis, wasn't that successful. But for the most part, it's been golf. And I do still play while I'm in college. It's hard, time management, money. I have other things I need to be doing instead of that. It's very sad because it's something I'm passionate about, and I would go more. I just can't currently find the time. But I have done the vast majority of sports over my life, and I love doing them. So that's usually my primary way of working out because I find it to be more enjoyable than like lifting weights or something.
Yeah. Okay. So you have partaken in a lot of sports in the past.
Yeah.
That's kind of influenced your physical activity now, would you say? Like,
yeah, I have considered joining intramural sports. Again, I haven't because my schedule is just so demanding. If I try to go play an indoor soccer game at 10 p.m., I literally would not be able to get up the next day for my class, because I'd be so tired. So it's more about me considering my own sleep health over my physical health currently. But if I did have more time, definitely would. Wish I could. Maybe next semester, end of the semester, something like that. But
Awesome. So that being said, it kind of seems like you're insinuating enjoyment of it, which actually I'm going to ask you how much you enjoy that in a minute. But so with that being said, do you think physical activity is something that's really important to engage in and something you maybe desire to grow in?
oh yeah, no, I definitely think it's important. I think in the society that we live in, a lot of unhealthy things are perpetuated. Like America is known for its obesity rates. Like I don't want to be like that. You know, America is known for its diabetes rates. I don't want to get diabetes. Like these aren't things I want to have to deal with in my life. But just in this particular time in my life, I can't seem to find the time to fit it in on a regular basis. But it is something I want to continue growing in, and I have gotten on schedules in college. But again, I'm just prone to getting sick. So I'll keep going, I'll go for 2 weeks, and then wham, I'll get a cold and I'm out for 2 weeks, and then it messes me all up. So maybe one day my body will just decide to stop giving me allergy infections, but we'll see.
Gotcha. Okay, so does that sound like there's some external motivation?
Yeah, no, I definitely want to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just finding the time to.
Yeah.
Because right now, I'm going to prioritize school over going to the gym 3 days a week. Because I do my cardio every week, so it's not like I'm just sitting around doing nothing all week. I do move around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't do the stereotypical thing of going to the gym 3 days a week,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you already were saying that you were partaking in just general, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I don't just sit on my butt for 12 hours at a time. Like, I do stuff every day. It's just not your stereotypical, I'm going to work out kind of stuff. It's me going, I have to walk from one end of the campus to the other end of the campus and back to the other end of the campus again. So, it is how it is. But.
Which can range from like 20 to 30 minutes,
Yeah,
So, yeah.
15 if I'm running late, but.
There you go. Hey, that'll boost your,
Yeah, it really gets my green circle and my Apple Watch going,
Exactly. Okay, so, well, that being said, this has obviously been insinuated during this time, but I still want to ask, do you really enjoy physical activity? Is that something that you would just do because of the mere enjoyment of it, and why or why not?
Yeah, no, I enjoy it. I think there are certain things I enjoy more than other things. Like, I'm not a runner. I've never been a runner, never enjoyed running, have no desire to run. If I'm ever running, it's either I'm running towards something or something's chasing me. So if you see me running, there's a very good reason, because I don't usually do it. With my history of golf, when you're in high school and middle school and you play golf, you don't get to ride in golf carts. You have to walk all of it. Every tournament, every practice, every match, whatever, you have to walk all of it. So I can walk a really long way. I have really good stamina for walking. Especially if I'm not carrying anything, because usually when I play golf, I have a push cart, so I put my bag on it and push it. I wouldn't be physically carrying anything, so I can walk a long way if I'm not carrying anything. But with running, I have zero stamina. I definitely enjoy golf the most. I feel like there's this perception around old dudes who are fat drinking beer playing golf and getting no physical activity.
Mm-hmm.
But in all reality, I have a workout I set on my watch for when I go golf, and when I go golf, I burn 500 calories riding a cart.
Even while riding in a cart?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I would burn probably twice as many if I walked, except I don't because I already walk everywhere else. So I figured, hey, if I'm gonna go do something physically active, I might as well get the chance to sit for a bit. But no, you think about it, you swing a club over and over and over and over and over, probably close to or above hundreds of times. Probably between 80 and 110 times. So you do work out. I'll go golf and I'll be sore after. I'll be full body sore because it's all in your core and your trunk and your legs, and then your arms, they move back and forth. So I'm literally full body sore after I go. The sports are definitely the thing I find the most enjoyment in. I will run in soccer only because I get competitive. If I wasn't feeling competitive, I wouldn't. But I just really want to just get the ball around people,
So
I want to be able to go back, around them and be and then be able to kick with my eyes closed and score, That would be really cool.
So would you say the physical activity you enjoy most probably involves sports, not
not running.
Yeah,
and not volleyball either. I don't enjoy volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
But
within the general idea of physical activity, you would definitely partake in
sports. I would choose sports over weightlifting 10 times out of 10.
Absolutely. Okay. So that being said, what exactly motivates you to do these things, to do physical activity? Is it some kind of external motivator, or are you internally enjoying that yourself, or what are the kind of motivating factors of you doing it?
I believe that our body is a temple, and I think since our body is a temple, it is one of our obligations is to take care of it. So I try to eat relatively healthy, obviously in college. Sometimes you just run out of healthy food and have to have Doritos for dinner. But for the most part, I try to do that to the best of my abilities. When I find time or make time, I do enjoy working out and going to the gym. So I definitely think it's important. I don't want to have to deal with internal health effects later in my life when I'm going to have a family and kids and grandkids. I don't want to have to deal with those things later because I'm still going to be enjoying my life to the fullest. So I figure now, as long as I can get into a habit of taking the best care of my body, later it'll really pay off. Because like I said earlier, I don't want to end up with something heart disease or diabetes or obesity or something. Like, I don't want to have to deal with those things. So I would rather, get into the habit of doing it now, which based on the rest of this interview sounds like I'm really not doing, but like I have this internal drive to like actually get a workout plan and like stick to it. It just hasn't happened yet, but it will. It will happen. I have a year left and then I'll be in the real world, so hopefully I can get it set up by then. But I do care about it. I don't want to have to deal with things that would hinder me later in my life. I feel like that would just not be fun at all.
Yeah. So from that, it does sound like, so you're looking at more of the futuristic aspect of physical activity instead of, you have mentioned that you do enjoy, for instance, sports, but would you say that you're more motivated because you don't want to be ill, for instance, in the future, or that because you actually enjoy what you're doing, physically speaking?
Again, I think it depends on what I'm doing. Like, I would like to be able to golf when I'm 60. Because golf is one of those sports you can pick up when you're a kid and play until you literally die, It's one of those sports that grows with you. So I'd like to be able to do that. The older I get, I want to teach my kids it, I want to play with my extended family members and do work tournaments or whatever. Like, I think that would be really cool. As for my current health, I'm relatively healthy now. So me working out isn't necessarily about fixing my health now. It's more about protecting me from things later because I'm relatively healthy now.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So it sounds like you have a good balance of internal and external motivation. So that being said, you have kind of been mentioning this like sun and sickness area, so actually that kind of runs into my medical question.
Naturally.
So, naturally speaking. So do you currently have any medical conditions that kind of hinder you from doing physical activity?
So I actually have tendinitis in my thumbs, both of them, which it's repetitive motion injury, and I actually got it from golf because I used to play literally every day as a kid, and when I learned how to hold a golf club, I used to take lessons, and the person I took lessons from sucked and taught me how to hold a club wrong. So instead of drawing my arms back like that and like elongating my swing, I hinged my wrists every time I swung my club. You do that for 2 or 3 years in a row and it's going to cause some internal damage, hence my tendinitis. So that is one thing that I deal with that does hinder me occasionally at the gym. As for other health implications, I do have TMJ in my jaw. That doesn't really prevent me from doing physical activity, but it is something I deal with. Previously I mentioned I don't really play volleyball. Again, tendinitis where you hit volleyball kills me every time. I just can't hit a volleyball. I'm in pain for literally the rest of the week if I play volleyball. So that's the one sport I'm limited to not playing. But I mean, outside of those two things and like seasonal allergies, pollen. I'm just allergic to pollen, just seasonal stuff.
Okay. So more natural.
Yeah. I don't really have outside of TMJ and tendinitis, I don't really have any big overarching problems. I'm prone to getting colds and allergy attacks. So.
Okay. So good. That kind of does guide us in a more natural instead of getting medically treated. It's more just natural allergies. Okay, perfect. So you have also briefly touched on this, but being a student, time is obviously of the essence when it comes to just everything we do with schoolwork, but you can continue to talk about that a little bit, but what kind of hindrances do you notice that, besides medical and maybe even besides time that you mentioned in the past, what kind of hindrances do you have that, refrain you from going and partaking in physical activity?
I mean, like I said before, it's mostly time management. Since I'm in school, my priority is my schoolwork, and I would like to prioritize the gym more, and that's something I need to do. But up to this point, it's really been on school, and if it isn't school for me, it's usually social that hops over the gym, which again, probably need to readjust that. But that's just the pattern of how it's been in my life.
Gotcha. Okay, so with that being said, actually, that runs right into my next question. So what does your schedule look like on a regular basis?
Oh man, well, Mondays I have class. I have 3 classes Monday, Wednesday. So I have class at 11 every day, which really helps me with my sleeping because I can go to sleep at 1:30 in the morning and wake up at 9:30 and still get 8 hours. And I can even push it to 10 if I'm super exhausted. So that definitely helps me. So I have class from 11 to 1, and then I have class from 3:30 to 4:45. And then this semester, something that's actually aided me in my physical activity, I have to do volunteer hours through my communication and community class, and one of my good friends and I are volunteering at this place called Horsepower, which is a therapeutic riding center for kids with disabilities. So I'm a sidewalker, so I walk alongside the horse and hold on to the kids as they walk around and do their activities and their stretches and play their games or whatever. So that's actually something, even though it's just walking, like it's still walking and it's walking through dirt, so it's not the easiest, like it's like deep stuff, it's like sand, it's like walking through sand. So I know it's not much, but that does make me feel a little bit better. So I do that Mondays, and then I go right into a meeting, and then I usually do homework. So Mondays are crazy. Tuesdays I have class from 11 to 12:15, 2 to 3:15, and then I don't really have anything until 5-ish, because I'm part of a ministry called Crew. And this ministry, I'm on the band there, so if I have band practice, it's on Tuesdays before it starts. So I have to go to that at 5:30, and then it starts at 8, the crew meeting does, and it's usually not done by 10, so Tuesdays I can't really do it. And then on Mondays I have another meeting that's at 7, so I literally go from class to Horsepower to this meeting, Ratio Christi, which is another ministry I'm involved in, and that usually goes until 8:39, and then I do homework, so like those 2 days are out. And then Wednesday's my introvert day, because I'm an inherent introvert, so I go to class, and then I do whatever the heck I want the rest of the day, which usually involves me coming back and doing homework and just having a really great time being by myself. Thursdays, again, I have class, I have Bible study, band practice if I'm singing that week, and then Fridays are just whatever miscellaneous social event gets planned in the weekends. So I have a busy schedule this semester, and when I'm actually living it out, it doesn't really feel like I do until you realize that you're always at something, and you're like, maybe I do. But yeah, that's usually what it looks like. Sometimes I'll go home over the weekends, if I'm not even here during some weekends. I'll go home on Friday and then come back Sunday night, so I won't even be here some weekends. So you can see my issue with scheduling gym time, and
Yes.
which is why I'm very glad that I live on campus and I walk around so much, because I'd imagine I'd be considerably less active than I am now, and I'm not even that active now if I was a commuter. Because literally I'd probably come home, do my things, and leave. I wouldn't have to walk as much. When you live on campus, you gotta walk to get your food, you gotta walk to class, you gotta walk to get your supplies, you gotta do whatever. You have a car, you can just hop in that thing, drive off campus, buy what you need, and you don't really have to worry about that. So at least I do have that going for me. But hopefully I'll fit the gym in there somewhere. We'll see.
Gotcha. Sounds like a very busy schedule. Probably.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be hard to incorporate maybe on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But, well, let's see. That does say, so you have answered like that you do wish to grow in partaking in physical activity. So you have kind of insinuated that. So that was just my next question. But that jumps into, you have mentioned sports specifically, but do you have any goals or things that you are actually looking forward to? So you were saying that you are like creating these plans now that you're like, oh, I hope to do this in the future. So what kind of goals are you thinking that you want to do in the future?
Well, my boyfriend and I are actually going to start working on curating me a workout plan for Kaplan that's specifically centered around golf. Because golf is the thing that I do the most, and it's the thing that I participate in the most pertaining to my physical activity. So I figure, hey, if it's something I want to carry into the rest of my life, I might as well strive in the gym to improve my performance as I get older, so then I can participate in tournaments, whatever, maybe like win prizes, I don't know. But that's something that we are going to try and do this semester, is get something that will use the muscles of my body that I'm going to use to golf in order to, strengthen me. So that's something I am looking forward to. And then hopefully, because he's the one that usually plans it, I don't really know so much about that. So it's really on him to plan it, which he hasn't done yet. No, just kidding. He hasn't done it yet. But he is going to soon. And it's going to be a little weird. Like I said, I have tendinitis, so there are certain things like I can't do, like squats with the bar over my neck where I have to hold it like this. Kills me. I can't do those. It just kills my wrist. So like stuff like that I can't really partake in. But that's what I would like to do more at the gym. I know in the past, at school or whatever, I have just gone to the gym to go to the gym. I haven't gone to the gym with any purposes in mind outside of trying to be healthier, which I feel like is too vague. Looking back on it, you need to go with a purpose, with something you want to accomplish. So that's why I'd like to get that plan made, just so I can go and have a purpose and like build up to something instead of just going to be healthier. I feel like it's very vague and can easily get lost in translation, but
yeah, absolutely. So it looks like you do have a drive to do physical activity in general.
Yeah.
Awesome. So it definitely is insinuating your internal motivation to do things, and even with assistance from your boyfriend, which does make it a lot more helpful. For
Yeah, when you have someone there to encourage
Yeah.
you, it's always
almost like accountability.
Yeah, it definitely makes it easier. But
Awesome. Well, that being said, so we were this next one kind of pinpoints what you enjoy about, or I guess your motive behind, like, so accountability. I just kind of referred to accountability. So if you were to choose between engaging in activity with a group or alone, what would you partake in and why? Why would you do that?
So I love my friends. I love them dearly, but some of my friends are like true hardcore workout people, and that is very intimidating to me.
Okay.
Like, I would rather just go and do my own thing. If I were gonna pick between going with my friends and going by myself, I would pick going by myself. Not because I don't want to be pushed, but knowing my friends in the most loving way, they'd be like, come on, let's go do body pump, and I would hate myself the whole time, you know? Like, I feel like if I'm gonna go to the gym, I should do something I'm going to enjoy, and a lot of the things that my friends who go on a regular basis do are things I would not enjoy. Like body pump or yoga or something like that. I don't really have an interest in that. Just, it's not something I'm interested in. Like I said, I'm more interested in sports than taking classes. Not that there's anything wrong with classes, like, you know, different things for everyone. But that's not really for me. Usually my boyfriend and I will go because he knows that, like, he can push me, but he knows if he starts to push me too much, I, like, won't want to do it anymore. Which is why I don't like going with my friends. Because they'll be like, come on, Chelsea, you can do it. And, like, get all up in my face in the best way. And my introvert me will be like, no, I can't. And then I'll want to leave the gym. So that's why I usually will either go by myself or with my boyfriend or with friends who are like me, who go on a less consistent basis and are trying to go more, but aren't, like, super like, let's go bike 2 miles. Like, that's not me. Like, I do not ever want to do that. I have terrible memories of that from middle school, so let's not. But I'd rather go with my boyfriend or just by myself. I don't know, I like to listen to music and stuff. There's people talking to you, you know, you can't really listen to music. So sometimes I nerd out and listen to an audiobook, but that's just a me thing.
Gotcha. So based on what I'm hearing, I do want to ask, so theoretically speaking, if you were to partake in maybe a small group, we don't even have to say a class, but if you were to take like 3 or 4 friends with the same exact physical activity level, for instance, somebody that was just in the same exact boat as you, would that be more motivating for you to partake in it, or are you still kind of set on, I would still want to go by myself?
I think it would be considerably less intimidating. Not that my friends are intimidating, but their workout plans are. Like, that scares me a little bit. Like, I don't want to do body pump. I feel like I wouldn't be able to walk the next day, you know? Like, but I think that if I did go with people who were on the same level as me, and if we all had this consensus of, well, I guess we're going to try this all together, that would make me feel a little bit better. But most of the friends I have, again, who go to the gym are the ones that are like, yes, you know what I did today? Swam 24 laps in the pool and then did 5 miles on the bike. And I'm like, whoa, dude, that is not for me, but you know, that's what it is.
Yeah, so there definitely is a difference, or kind of a less motivating factor in the different physical activity levels.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with them going to the gym as much as they do. Like, more power to them. I wish I could go as much as they do, but like their plans are like way over my head, dude. Nah, not for me.
Gotcha. Well, it does sound like to me that you have very good motives towards physical activity anyway, so, but just to see what kind of motivating factors you have for physical activity. So with that being said, that was my final question. Thank you so much, Chelsea.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for interviewing me.
Of course. Thank you.